Get YouTube up and going. Again, market, you know, a lot of compression here now. We'll pull back. Now we're trying to bounce, but against below the VWAP. So this is a time to just wait and wait for setups. We're not really getting any. We kind of do have one on the Qs here, but look at this red right here. So I'm not touching anything right now. I took a chance on the SPY super system with a quarter of the position size, and it went against me, so I'm out. And looking for some additional good high probability setups that I can take. Again, at pretty close to $400 here, $399.18. And if the longer it stays there, the better chance we got of being filled, because there's less time in the day on that to get below the 395. So I haven't got filled on it yet, and it's, again, the spreads are really wide on it. Let's see where it is. Yeah, still about $1.60 wide on the spread. So that's why the haven't got filled on it yet. But obviously, it's the 395 to 400 can go all the way to $5 at the end of the day. So if this stays up around 400, at some point in time, we're going to get filled on this thing. Good, not doing much of anything. Trading at about $1 right now.
On DKNG, volume downtick. Senators set to request a probe in behavior of DraftKings and FanDuel.
DraftKings coming down pretty hard here on a likely investigation. Big volume down. You know, when I see something like DraftKings, I think you've heard me talk enough about my initial reaction on something like this is to take a straddle or a strangle. And I did take it. I took a 44 straddle on this thing. 44 call, 44 puts. Dan points out T2104 is flat. SPY following the same trend. Yep. Again, I took a straddle in DraftKings. 44s, 44 calls, 44 puts. Paid $1.16, I think, which actually was a pretty good price. Paid $1.15. So I'm not going to be looking for any big, huge gains in this thing. I'll probably look for about $1.75 to the exit, since it expires today. And I can't post these or call these. The price moves around way too much, so it's hard to post it. But again, when I get a big flush on something like this, as opposed to trying to take it short or take it long, I typically just do a straddle because I don't know what it's going to go. This is a news event. They're talking about a federal investigation into them, DraftKings, and another one of the gambling sites for sports gambling. So I'm just looking for a move. That's all. Again, I took some SPY calls. It was SPY Super System back a ways to try to catch this move, and it went against me. So I took a quarter position size. So no big deal, and I'm just waiting to see what the market does now. Again, Qs are holding up better than the SPY is. Again, I took this DraftKings. I took a straddle. The 44, I think. Yeah, the 44 puts and 44 calls. Paid $1.16. And I'm out at $1.75. So I get in at $1.15. I get $1.75 on DraftKings. That's fine. I mean, it could keep on moving. I don't care. But that was just a way to grab that move. I don't know whether it's over too big a move or not. I don't care, but I'm in at $1.15, out at $1.75. So I made 60 cents on that thing in a really short period of time, which is good. But again, it's very difficult. I can't post it, obviously. All I can do is let you know what I'm doing. And I think when you see these kind of moves, you got to look and see what the premiums are, whether you can justify taking the cost of it and stuff. So all that is taken into consideration to it. It takes a little bit of time to do that, and it's pretty hard to try to post. You see it's bouncing back up again right now. So that's why you have to be quick on these, very quick. It's not something everybody should be doing, but what was the date of the straddle? Today. Listen, when I'm taking a straddle, I'm doing this week, so I always do this week, so I need straddles and strangles. And you can make more money on them usually toward the end of the week. Well, not really on the straddles and strangles, but you just need a big move. That's all. I always use this. This week's expiration. So when you're doing them on Friday, you've got risk because you don't have any time on them. But anyway, I'm out of the trade. So again, it went in at 115, out at 165, done. Nice profit though. 50. What was it? 50 cents, 60 cents. Yeah, 115 in, 160. Yeah, 60-cent profit on a $1.15 entry. So yeah, pretty nice. 55 cents would be 50%. They made 60 cents on it. So yeah, pretty nice. Over 50%. At what time price of DraftKings did I take it? Well, let's look at something. All right, let's go to the 1 minute candles of this thing. I was trying to get in at a flat price of, when the stock price hit around 44. It was bouncing back and forth a lot. But when it hit around 44, this is where I took the straddle, because I wanted the stock to be right about at 44. I wanted to be at the strike price, which is what it was. So I watched it when it was trading about 44.10 or 43.95 or something. I took it, and then I get this flush down right here. This gave me 50% of profit on that thing. Again, it's impossible to I can tell you what to do, but there's no way to post it or give you an awful lot of details on it, because the prices are fluctuating wildly and the premiums are going up and down like crazy. Yeah, it already bounced back. You've got to have a good idea just to take profit, especially when you don't have any more time. I mean, it's right back up to 44 now. So if I look at what that's at right now, again, I get out at 175. It's trading at 109 right now, 108. So it's trading below what I paid for it, because you've had, now again, where it's trading around 44. So it should be about what I paid for it, right? $1.15. But you've also had about another 10 minutes of time, which means you've got time decay because they expired today. So that's why you're trying to catch a move one way or the other really quickly and just take the profits. Alright, let's get back to business. Get back to the SPY. Trying to bounce up. Again, the SPY is below the VWAP. Qs are holding above the VWAP. Qs are the better index to be trading right now if you're trading for SPY Super System setup. Coming right off of the VWAP and the 15 right here. But again, look at this price action. Alright, move up this morning, and then this is just nothing but a lot of compression. So we don't have a trend to join. If we've taken it, we're hoping to get in at the very beginning of the trend. Any criteria for the premiums for the straddle? Well, typically, Dan, I just look to see what the ATR is on it pretty quickly. But if you have to look at the spreads on them. And try to get into what you think is a reasonable price. How much did I think it was going to bounce? I thought it could easily bounce it. If I look at DraftKings, if I look at the candlestick here, it started up here around 45.50 or so, and when it was at 44, I figured a dollar something was a reasonable amount to pay. I wouldn't have paid $2 for it. There's no way I would pay $2 for it. So it just depends on what the option premiums were. But I figured if I could get in for $1.20, $1.25 or less, that would be okay. You got to be really careful on those because they put the spreads really wide a lot of times to try to protect themselves. So you've got to put a price in there that you can justify. Otherwise, you just go in there and you're going to pay too much for it. So you got to go in and put a price in there. You say, okay, this is $1.15 is okay. I put $1.16 in. I got filled at $1.15. But you got to remember, when a stock moves like that, you've got a bunch of bonehead retail traders going in throwing market orders in to buy puts and calls, especially on the put side. They see this, they immediately go in and buy puts. They'll pay market for it because they want to get in. They don't want to have to mess around with trying to find a midpoint. And if I'm in there with a straddle and they go in and hit the market order, it gives me a much better chance of getting filled. You know, this is the problem with retail traders. I don't want to call them idiots, but people that go in there and put market orders in on something like this, they help some traders like us who are looking for a price that we can justify, and we put it in there at a specific bid, and they help us get filled. Is the idea just to make profits on a flush? Yep, sure is. A flush or a bounce, either way, I don't care. See, the point is I don't really care which way it goes with a straddle. If I was following the crowd here and everybody was jumping on the puts on this thing because they thought it was going to keep going down, you know, they're hosed here right now. All right, so back to the market. More interested in the Qs than I am the SPY right now. Still, we're in a dynamic compression zone here, this shaded area. We're getting a pop out of the box symbol, but we're not moving much. There's no need to rush into these things. Again, I mentioned hot. If you stayed in hot, if you didn't get filled yesterday, you stayed in hot, you're in great shape right now. You're out for $8 a contract, and I'm going to use that as a sell order now because it's above that even right now. So Meta carrying the whole market right now, it seems. Well, it's up 3%. Yeah, it's moving up pretty nicely. Google's up 1.5%. Amazon's up 2%. I mean, the tech stocks are doing pretty well right now. Tesla went right to resistance today and hit it and hasn't gone back up through it again. App moving up nicely. App still at 400. Still haven't got filled on it yet. Looking to get filled on app. IONQ with a nice move up today, up about 5%. Still got the sell order in there at 690. I'm going to leave it there. It's trading at 622 right now.
OSK on this volume downtick. Talked as the effort to unwind postal service EV contracts will be part of a broad executive order on EVs. That's on the Trump transition team. Seen a volume downtick in OSK.
I'm not in any big rush to get into any of the SPY super system trades right now. I do like the Qs right here. But I mean, really, we're not getting much of a trend right now. This is just compression. Quid's not doing much of anything. It's trading at $39.86, getting close to $40. So we need it to move up past $40 and keep moving. Right now, it's just not putting in much of a candle today yet. So we'll see where it goes. I'm still leaving the sell order on there. I may have to move it back down a little bit. A little surprising we haven't got filled on app yet. It's printing. It's just printed 345, or not printed, but it had a midpoint of 345. Now it's back down to 240. They've just got the spreads so wide on this trade because the stock is because it can move so much. Right now it's at 403.25. Again, way up there, and it keeps moving up like this. I'm considering actually moving up my sell price. And then dropping it back down if I don't get filled. Spreads on app right now on the about $1.70 wide. That's why there's such wide ranges in the midpoints of these things. But it's trading at almost 405 now. I moved my sell order up to $3. On app, I moved it up to 3. I didn't get filled at 275, but the longer we go into the day, with the stock trading up above 400, our strike, the better chance it is we can get more money for it. If the spreads weren't so wide, I'd be looking for around 350 right now. But I'm gonna set it at $3 and see if I can get filled on it. Stock's up $25 today. All right, see if we get any questions here. big wall of resistance at SPX 6100, Alejandro. Yeah, I mean, listen, the all-time high is always, there's always going to be some resistance up around there. So it's resistance till it isn't anymore. And I don't use this. I don't use the SPX, so I'm not looking at that. All-time high in the SPY and the all-time high in the Qs it would be my resistance right now. But this is kind of garbagey right now, so I'm focusing on stocks, not the indexes right now. Trying to get out of the APP debit spread for $3. Gary, is there a video that specifically explains how to use the scanners? I don't think so. I don't think I ever did one on the scanners. I probably should do that. I mean, I usually keep up the cascading up and cascading down, looking for relative strength and relative weakness. So on a market that's moving down, the cascading up will give us the relative strength, and the cascading down will give us relative weakness when the market's moving up. But you have this cascading up on the 5-minute, which is what this is. I also have a cascading up on the daily. I also have another one called the RLT, which takes a look at stocks that have pop out of the box symbols, upside, in, downside, on the 5-minute chart, also on the daily chart. Yeah, I'll try to put one of those together on the scanners. Grouchy, would I ever consider holding that app spread until the end of the day? Probably not. Probably not. Yeah, if it stays above 400, you'll get. But even at the close, if you're trying to get $5, even if the stock is above the 400, you're 395, 400, you're not going to get it, because the bid-ask spread is still going to be, even at the end of the day, it's going to be pretty wide. Now, I mean, theoretically, you can go in and exercise the options you got, but I'm not gonna mess around with that. Dan says IBM is in a wedge on the daily chart. Good, not doing us any favors today at all. It's up to 39.80, but I need this thing to bounce like another 75 cents to $1 to the upside, get up to around 40.50 or so. And so far it's not doing much of anything. CRDO pull back a little bit. Dark U that we talked about earlier, still moving up. Very nice move. Again, it's just drifting higher. SPY right back down again. This is just a bunch of chop here right now. But not a good day right now for trading SPY super system trades. And Daniel, I had my sound turned off for a brief second, that's why you didn't hear it. Again, this is if you're on YouTube, you're not familiar with this. This is what we call the SPY super system, or the compass system. It's the software that goes on Thinkorswim to let us know if institutions are buying or selling or not participating in a particular stock. Again, if we look at one of the ones we're in, which is app, we have a call debit spread from yesterday, 395 400. See the green? This is multi-time frame momentum, current time frame momentum, buying across the board here. And for the SPY super system, which is where I trade the SPY, the Qs, and the IWM, this is the index I use right here. Not the index. This is the indicator I use. The SPY, the current time frame momentum. Then when I'm looking to take a swing trade, like something like app, if you were looking for a swing trade in app, you would switch to the daily, and you would look for the current time frame momentum and the multi-time frame momentum. You want them green and blue, both of them, for long, and red and yellow for short. And you can see how much buying is going on in the APP. All right. We also are in IONQ long, and you can see how much buying is going on in here. So we're trading with the institutions. That's the whole point here, is to take high probability trades with the institutions. George, can I increase? I got the mic turned up. I don't know if there's anything I can do about that. I'll see if I can. All right, so we're just watching here. This, and again, the market is just this is right now you can't be trading any of the indexes. They're just garbage. So I'm focusing on stocks right now. I don't have a lot of stocks on, but I do like the CRDO. Again, I use my TC2000 chart here to do some charting and technical analysis on these positions I take. The CRDO, this is a pretty nice long setup right here. IONQ, another nice long setup. See how this broke out above this high volume resistance level right here this morning? That's a nice setup. I did a straddle on hood on this big not hood, sorry, on DraftKings today on this big flush down. I just did a quick straddle, took a 44 call, 44 put, and made 50% on it in about 10 minutes. So that was good. But that's a rarity, and it's not one I can call out. You have to trade these. You have to understand how to trade them. and be quick about them. You know, I get in at 44, flush down, and I got a 50% profit, and I'm out. Because I didn't know if it was going to keep going down or going up. I didn't care. I just wanted it to bounce one way or the other. But anyway, so those are the positions we're in here. We had HUT. We took HUT off yesterday. Some of us took it off today. Beautiful trade in HUT. This was a really. We get in at 5.80. We get out at $8. This was a really nice trade here. I actually get in here when it bounced, when it broke above here. Then I stayed in it because it came down through the 8 to the 15, but it held the 15. I used the 8 and the 15 together, and then bounced up and then popped up yesterday. A lot of us got filled here yesterday at $8, and the rest of us who didn't get filled yesterday get filled today at $8. They're coming in at 5.80. That's a big profit. All right. So just so we understand what we're looking at for trading here inside the room. Again, I have a room, and I also have an alert service. We put out alerts on these trades. All right, check, see if we have any questions here. Crowd and PNW look nice, Allie. The crowd has been making a nice move up after that pull back. It's sitting right at resistance right now. 367.10 is resistance, just slightly above it with room to 381. It's a nice setup on crowd. Nice setup on crowd. PNW, yeah, another nice setup in PNW. There's a lot of nice setups, especially in the tech stocks right now. Joseph, you can hear me fine. Good deal. HUT is not displayed. HUT is not displayed. What? HUT is not displayed. I don't know what you mean, Philip. By HUT's not displayed. There it is right here. The reason I put it in blue was because I closed it yesterday for 8, and some people get out for 8, but it pulled right back after I get filled. So some people didn't get filled. So I put out an alert yesterday saying if you didn't get filled on it, my opinion would just stay in the trade for today, and you can see what it did. If you look at the 5-minute chart on HUT yesterday, take this out of the way. This is what happened: is we got filled, and then it pulled straight back. It kept coming down most of the day, but the daily chart was still strong. We got a little bit of a gap up this morning and a nice run up, and that filled us on the trade. Oh, I thought I was talking about but IONQ was on the chart. Yeah, I understand. Okay. Yeah, I was talking about the trade. It was just one of the ones we were in here. But I had IONQ up because it was the one that's one we're long right now. It's just kind of moving sideways right here, but it's had a beautiful move up today on the daily chart. Is there a trick to see what I'm looking at? You only see the think or swim. Well, this is the chart that I show on my on the platform. This is what I show in the room. I can only put one out there. Otherwise, it'd be too small. So this is what I keep up. And when I'm talking about charts, I'll switch from one chart to another. Like if I look at IONQ, but I also use TC2000 usually for my charting, and I'll switch that over if I'm talking about what I'm looking at for a daily on it for a swing trade. So there's IONQ right there. This becomes so I use this in conjunction with the compass system. This compass system is really important because this tells me whether institutions are in the trade or not. You know, you can see they're selling a little bit of IONQ right now. See how this is red on the current time frame momentum, but I don't care about that because I'm in this trade as a swing based on what the daily chart looks like. And one of my criteria is always use the daily chart for the direction. If you're going to go long, make sure the daily chart's bullish. If you're going to go short, make sure it's bearish. You don't want to be in there trading against that daily chart. Is there a valid T2104 division on the daily? No. you know, if I look at the T2104, theoretically there is but I don't look at the divergence on the daily, because that's the cumulative volume index for the whole day, and if the volume is down on the day for the daily, and the SPY volume is up, I don't really care about that. I only care about the T2104, which is cumulative volume index. I'm only interested in that on the 5-minute chart. I'm only interested in what's happening today. If there's a big divergence, if the SPY's falling hard, but the cumulative volume index is bullish to the upside, then I have a divergence. What I've got today is nothing but a flat a bunch of chopping around. There's no divergence at all. But I don't use the T2104 on the daily at all. Still haven't got filled an app yet, so I'm just sitting in it. Yeah, I like the Qs better than the SPY, but neither one of these things is really tradable right now. It's just moving sideways.
Fed's says the Fed is at or near time to slow pace of rate cuts.
Can I show the Bashrat, can I show the cumulative volume index? Yeah, sure. Okay, it is a T2104, and again, I use it on a 5-minute basis. So here's a T2104 today. And this is it. Yesterday, see this big flush at the end, and the spike popping up. But I didn't pay any attention to that. It's because we had a jobs report this morning. See what it's doing right now? It's not doing anything. The SPY's chopping around, drifting down basically. This is a SPY right here on the 5 minutes. The red and green lines. T2104 is just really just kind of chopping. There's not much of a divergence here at all between the SPY and the T2104. This is what it looks like on the daily, which I don't use it on the daily. There's your T2104. You notice it is diverged on the daily to the SPY. SPY's going up, so typically it would tell you to stay long the SPY on the daily chart, but I don't use it on the daily chart, so I'm only using it on the 5-minute chart. Okay, that's it. It's TC2000 has that. Terry, I'm talking about things. Okay, on the 5-minute, he's looking at the IONQ, but I'm talking about other charts. Yeah, when I'm going with TC2000, I really need to move the TC2000 chart out there. Just that I'm looking back and just looking at so many things at once. But yeah, that's a good point. Bashrat, you can't see. What couldn't you see? Were you talking about the T2104? This is the T2104 on TC2000 right here. This is the 5-minute chart. You can see that now, I'm assuming. No? Are you not seeing my screen, by the way? Let me share the screen again. Okay, something happened to the sharing. Sorry about that. All right, tell me if you see the T2104 now. Yep, yeah, it's that the screen sharing gets stopped. I don't know what the problem was. I didn't even know it. Okay, thanks for that. Appreciate it. Go to webinars sometime. It'll do that. It'll just, for some reason, it'll freeze on the screen. Okay, everything's okay now. Yeah, thanks for letting me know. I don't. There's no way I can tell. It told me I was still going to. It told me I was still going to. It was still showing the screen, but I can't tell, of course, because mine's live over here, so it's just working fine. Somebody just bought the compass system. Rory said, Mark Miller is working with Sophia.
Oh, good. Finally.
I kept the pressure on him.
Good.
I think he just was working with her because she's pretty. Because when I first showed him the website back when she had that like glamour photo thing, she doesn't have that anymore. So he says when I sent the website down to him, he asked him about it. I said, I think she'd help you a lot. And he says, wow, look at her. Where'd you meet her
He's not married.
No.
Eh? How old is his son?
Commentary out by
Huh?
Germany on Iran. German Foreign Ministry source
college.
says Iran's increasing production capacity of uranium enriched to up to 60% purity is grave escalatory step.
I didn't realize it was good.
Oh. Terry, that's what you're here for, to help me. Yeah, I need it. Believe me. Look at this. Look at this flat market. This is just unbelievably flat.
On BA, Boeing trading at lows of the day. Following that, talk of a 60-minute piece. BA, Boeing.
Boeing dropping hard here on a. Apparently, there's going to be a 60-minute story on them. It's right on the 8 on the daily chart right now. Still haven't got filled on APP yet. Trading at 410. So there's a really some pretty crazy spreads on this thing. I'm just gonna I'm gonna keep it at $3. As long as this thing stays above 400, I'm keeping it at $3. It's just a matter of getting filled on it. Right now they've spread this thing out. The bid on the 395 calls is 23.10, and the ask is 27.20. This is for today. All right. $27 ask for 395. So that shows you how volatile this thing is. But as we get closer to the end of the day, they'll tighten up some. But when you got a spread that wide, 23.50 to 27, it's crazy. So the midpoint looks crazy. It goes from $1.85 to 410. I mean, it's just nuts. Yeah, Ali, you say you don't know if it'll tighten up, but the price is inclusion for the S&P. Well, at some point in time, if it's near the end of the day and the stock's trading over 400, if they don't fill it, I'll just call the brokerage and tell them to execute them. They can execute. I've got the 395 calls. I'll have them execute the next 395 calls and the 400 puts, and I get $5. But I don't think it's going to come to that. First of all, the market makers, they don't want to pay me $5 for this thing, all right? So they'll fill me at less than $5. So, because anybody who's still in it at the end of the day can go ahead and just exercise it. It's about 12.12 right now. About 12.12. Again, you get the Qs flipping over here to blue, but again, this is just crappy price action. Really, really crappy price action. Just nothing here to give us any trend to follow at all. So I'm just sticking on positions I've got and looking for some additional swing type trades. But so far I haven't taken anything else. They did say I like CRDO. Again, here's CRDO on the TC2000 chart. This is a big get bull flag here. See this big gap up here, likely on earnings of some sort, and trying to break out. You like to see it get right above here, but I did buy some here yesterday on this pullback, and then I just bought some today again, added to it. They're pretty expensive. I think they're, what did I take on those? $65 calls for January 17th. Yeah, they were around 10.90. So when I bought them, they're going for $11.90 now, $12 now. Again, you know, I'm sliding the TC2000 back and forth. I've got 4 monitors here, so I've got some scans running on TC2000. I got scans running here. I have my TC2000 on one of my screens. So I have 4 screens for all the information I need to watch. About 12:15. Very flat market today. Not really much going on. We had a nice little move up initially. Got a little trend here, and then basically just flat. You can see the current time frame momentum here keeps switching back between blue and yellow, blue and yellow. So this is really churny right now. It's just churning. Shy, looking at Reddit. Yeah, it has been. It bounced back. It's been a PBO, a pullback opportunity, but it's been really choppy. Bounced off the 8, moved up, and today right now it's bouncing off the 8 again, and putting in a new all-time high. But it's a nice setup on Reddit. It really is for a swing trade. I took some profits on some of my CRDO position. I got multiple contracts on that, but I just take some off for $2 a contract. Alright, so again, I pulled a little CRDO off, but I'm holding some more. These are January calls. I just wanted to peel off some profit on some of them, so I did that. Again, I took some profits in my CRDOs. I've got some. I bought some yesterday. I bought some today.
Members on JWI, we posted the article headline and sub-headline.
Still waiting to see what app does. I still haven't got closed an app yet. Trading at $408. It's a $395 400. Again, they have not filled me because the spread is just so wide on this thing. But as long as it stays up over here, over around 400, eventually they're going to have to fill this one.
The Nordstrom family has been tight-lipped on what progress has been made.
Really?
Circulations were on this were via social media.
Boy, that's a shock. Yeah, they're, oh, how exciting. Yeah. What? Nope. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, you know what? Moving her around like that is really cool. They're always looking for ways to get hold of her money.
Holly, you keep getting tempted to go all cash now with how we are, how much we've run. I mean, yeah, listen, it's we don't have a lot of positions on. Again, I don't have a lot of longs on that, and the reason for that is the market's is getting a little frothy up here, but it's still bullish, and we're in a bullish seasonal part of the year. But again, we don't have a lot of positions on. I purposely have been not having an awful lot out there right now, and most of them right now, of course, we get January, except for IONQ, we get January's on. So we'll see what that does. But an FI too as well. We got January calls on those. But I think like for hedging. For long, people ask me, what do I put on? What do I put on for hedges? Do I use the VIX? Do I take some protective puts? What I do when I'm hedging, what I do is I just cut my position sizes down. I cut the number of positions down. I just have less money in trading than I do when I'm a more trending market. I'm a more bullish. When I get more neutral, I just cut down the risk I've got. Shai, you agree with that? You're peeling off when you can, slowly transitioning to more day trading. Yeah, and most of them are trades I've been doing lately have been SPY super system trades during the day, which are day trades. By definition, they're day trades. So even when the market is getting toppy, you can still make good money trading the intraday trades off the SPY super system. Even though the total number of trades we're going to have on is going to be less, but again, there's still I think there's still some good bullish opportunities out there, but you got to go out in time a little bit. And again, we'll have earnings season popping back up again here in early January, another month or so.
Oh my God, there's something weird. Oh, good. We're gonna hold hers. So now, yeah, exactly. It's over Woody? Well, with as power, he said, power returning and stuff.
All right, getting ready to take lunch here pretty soon.
Yeah, he can just demand.
A little after 12:30, I'll probably be taking lunch. I'll stop the YouTube feed then. I want to appreciate, thanks to all the YouTube folks that come watching again today. Been kind of a choppy market, not an awful lot to trade from what we call a SPY super system, which is trading intraday indexes off the 5-minute chart. You're really quick trades. I took one today, took a loss on it, as the market hasn't really done anything. The Qs are the best index to trade to for the SPY super system right now. But again, this is just a lot of chop and compression right now. So I'm not touching those. I'm just focusing on the swing trades and the longer term trades that I've got on right now. Again, I got IO and Q. I do have a call debit spread on APP. I got the 395 400. I'm trying to get out at. I got paid at 210 for it. I'm trying to get out at $3. And the stock's trading at 411. I still haven't got filled on it yet. So that shows you how wide the spreads are in this thing. They're really massively wide. What are they? How wide are they now? Now they're down to about $2.10 now. That's coming in. They were about $5 wide-ish a little while ago, so they're coming in a little bit. So we'll see what happens here as far as if and when we get filled on it. Again, I got an order in there for $3. It's printing anywhere from $2 to $4 right now. So looking to get filled. Again, gonna take lunch here in about 5 minutes. We'll shut down the YouTube feed at that point in time. I want to thank the YouTube folks for coming in today and questioning, asking me questions. I appreciate that.
Members, on the economic front, we have two more things on tap. We have your bigger user account at 1 p.m. and consumer credit at 3 p.m. Remember, just one other key headline, heads up. Don't forget we have the Fed speakers going on blackout period after today, going into the announcement later this month.
Tracy, hello. Are the option ready close trade or open it? Oh, well, on here, when I put the date in here, we would the buying, and then I usually put a sell order in for when we're going to exit it. So this is when we bought it, 11/29, November 29th. We paid $5.90 for the $33 calls, and we get a sell order in at $6.90. Yeah, IONQ is up nicely today, trading 37.39. We've got a couple more weeks on that. I'm still looking for it to get to around 6.90 or more. The IONQ right now is trading at 5.90. It's pretty much what we paid for it right now, at 5.90. Again, I did peel off some CRDO, but still holding some for January. Still trying to get filled on app. I've got a sell order on Hood at $1.85. This was the straddle we took overnight, the $39 straddle on Hood. Hood's trading right now at 40.44. So we want this thing to keep going up. It's trading at $1.48 right now. If this starts to show any weakness and starts pulling back, I'm going to change the sell order and take it off. We're up just a dime on it right now. I got $1.85 scheduled in there. It's going to have to move up about another 40 cents or so. But it's moving up pretty nicely right here. We'll see if it continues. See this nice little move up. And you know it can really move. 40 cents for this thing is not very much. And if you're in it and you want to just take it off, if you're nervous about it, you can take it off now for about $1.55. So up about 20 cents on it. Coin recovering nicely, Ali. Yeah, they were weak yesterday, and coin going up will probably push up a little bit too. Actually,
coming up as well at 1 p.m.
Yeah, coin's moving up really nicely here. Head resistance at 341.75, which it held yesterday, and is just above it now, 342.16, with a chance to go all the way up to. Again, here's a high volume resistance level, 341.75. Is trading above that by about 50 cents, and you got room to 368.
Watching Bitcoin trading by day.
This is pretty nice on coin. Again, this thing is very expensive for the options, very volatile, and I'm not going to take it today. If it was early in the day, I would take this. If it was in this area, I'd take it with a call debit spread, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to watch it, and I'll look at it for Monday. But a nice little moving coin here. If you want to take calls on it, you can, as long as it stays above 341.75, you can take calls in it, and out a week, it's maybe 2 weeks out. I don't think you have to go out a month in this thing. It's going to be too expensive. Watch an app, make sure it stays over 400, which it is. The SPY Q is doing really just garbage here right now. How's the Reddit look in the daily chart? Looks pretty good. Alessandro, it looks really pretty nice, the daily chart. This is Reddit. Shai was talking about this one today as a PBO. You see the big bull flag here, and then it pulled back to between the 8 and the 15 and bounced off of it. And this was a nice pop right here to get in, and then kind of just formed a doji yesterday. This is a pretty nice setup in Reddit. I like this Reddit setup for a long term. I think you can take a swing on this one. Take a swing trade on it. go to January.
Comments by Fed's Hammond says U.S. economy is strong and labor market is pretty healthy.
What's a PBO? Oh, PBO is a pullback opportunity. It's a pullback opportunity. Just basically, it's a trade that's bullish. Well, it can be bearish too, but a bullish trade that moves up, pulls back toward the 8, and then you wait for support, like here, bouncing off here. You wait for support, wait for the support to hold at the 8, and then you can take it long as it confirms right here that there was that is going back in the original trend. We had a little lull yesterday, but that's what a PBO is. Pullback opportunity. I look for those a lot. Some people call them a J hook, but it's a pullback to support and then a move up into the original trend again. PBO. Just a shortened way to let you know what the setup looks like on the candlesticks. Do you have any idea about INTC, Tracy? Well, listen, the semiconductors have been weak. All right, so here's INTC on your daily chart right here. It looks like garbage. Now this is support level, $20.48 right there. But I wouldn't be touching it because it's near support. But this thing is a short setup. It has been for a while, but it's got some support close by. And the semiconductors have been, NVIDIA has been pretty crappy since earnings too. So I'm not even trading these things. I don't want to touch them until they give me some reason to be in them. This hood right here, 4068, still moving up nicely here. Hood's pretty close here. Any kind of a weakness in hood, I'm going to take it down. I'm going to take it off. I got 185 in there. I'm going to leave it at 185. It's trading at 175 right now. And it's basically trading at about 3 cents above the intrinsic value on the strangle on the straddle. In other words, it's trading at $1.79 right now, and the stock's at 40.79. So it's just about exactly trading. They're not giving you any premium on the put side right now. So it's all calls. 179 right now. Again, it's going to have to hit about 40.80, 40.85, I guess.
Watching that gas highs of the day.
I made a spreadsheet. Like what I do is I make a separate spreadsheet with the address, because none of the addresses and uptime.
Here it goes. Hood just filled. So hood's filled at $1.85. It's continuing to move higher, but I'm happy with that because it was down all morning. So we sold it for $1.85 on this straddle. That was pretty nice, actually. We made a nice 50 cents on that. So that's about 40%. That was alerted on that one yesterday as well. So that nice little profit here. So I'm happy with that. Out of hood.
There are rumors now that Syrian President Bashar al-Assad has now fled the country.
All right, let me send this out an alert. Right, so we sold the hood for $185. That was a straddle. Can always keep going higher, but again, it's been moving sideways all day long, so I don't know if it's going to continue up. So I just want to have a sell order in there, and I took the sell order. Is FI still a buy? It is, in my opinion. Then you got yes, VV. It's still a buy in my opinion. FI, even though it looks bearish on the daily chart. So this is one it's a little different trade than I usually take, but it's above the 50-day moving average. I still like it long. January 17, 150 calls for Reddit. Let me take a look at Reddit. I don't think you have to go that deep in the money, but let me take a look. You bailed seeing how much it had dropped for the 455. I took a in the room yesterday. I said that FI was dropping. It dropped way down. In my opinion, was we had the January 17th 410s. In my opinion, was to add the January 17th 400s, not to sell the 410s, because I think it's going to recover back up close to where it had been before. That's why I took that one. All right, so let me look at this Reddit. Do you want to look at Reddit? Let me look at Reddit. And I like these Reddit calls. January 17th is trading at 160 right now. And they're pretty expensive. Pretty expensive. Yeah, probably you would on Reddit. You would have to go to if you go to January 17th. If you go to January 10th, the 150s are about $1,800 a contract. So I'm not going to recommend anything like that because they're so expensive, and there isn't an awful lot of volume on these things either. By the way, there is in the January 17th, the monthlies. But they're pretty expensive. I think the 150s at about 1960, 1970 is probably the way to go on Reddit for the January 17th. All right. So yeah, that 150 is a good one. Shy, you took the Reddit 1.3s, paid 16 for the 150s. That's good. Yeah. Again, anybody that lost out on that bailed on FI yesterday, FI. I'm sorry you did. Again, I never put out a reason to get out of that trade, even though it gapped down. This is what happens is everybody panics when that happens, and I try to keep everybody calm in those situations and not to overreact. I've got some dings going off here. What have I got? All right, let's see what happened. Oh, app closed. App closed at $3, finally. We figured it eventually we had to. So out of app at $3. Finally closed for me. App closed at $3. Pretty nice profit on that. In at 210 out of $3, so 90 cents on $2, almost 50%. Tracy, no problem. On Intel, yeah, it's most of the chip stocks right now are pretty garbagey for trading. I haven't been touching them right now. Hoods keeps going here. Could have made a lot more on Hood, but again, I'm happy with that with the 185, so that's fine. All right, so I'm going to stop and have some lunch. Again, I'm going to shut the YouTube feed down. Thanks everybody on YouTube. I appreciate your being here. You can always join the room. You can join the alert service, or you can buy the software, the Compass software, the SPY Super System software, to run on your Thinkorswim platform. You do not have to trade on Thinkorswim. You don't even have to buy Thinkorswim. You just buy the SPY Super System or the Compass software, put it on there, and you're going to see what we see, which is what are the institutions doing. But you can see right now they're selling the SPY, but it's coming right down to a pivot point. This is a strong level that the Compass system puts on here. This pivot point line, this white line, is where it came to yesterday and bounced off of it several times. So market's a little weak here right now, so I'm not really ready to jump into anything right now, except I do like Reddit. I do like Reddit here. Just a hard one for me to post because it's so expensive. I don't like to put stuff out there that's close to $2,000 a contract. I can take them, and I'm sure people can take them. And if you can and you want to, I think taking Reddit January's some expiration in January are good trades right now to put it on as a long.
Anywhere. Well, anywhere. Oh, speaking of going to Vietnam, January, February. Road trip.
All right, everybody gonna get some lunch. Again, thanks for you folks on YouTube. I appreciate it. Appreciate all the questions. Thanks very much for viewing. Again, I'll be back with the YouTube around 11:50.